Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Haydogamg. Today we are going to be talking about three big classic movies back in the 1980s or 1990s. Either way, this series was really good in the year 1990s or whatever. But we're going to be talking about Back to the Future of 1, 2, and 3, and now the quite possible 4 that's going to be coming out soon in quite a few years. Who knows, 2 or 3 years. But point is, we got a guest with us today, my cousin Raeleigh. Now let's get going, boys, because we got some theories.
Hi everyone, I'm Hayden's cousin Ray, and Hayden has asked me to join him for this video to talk about some theories about the next Back to the Future movie. We were actually talking about this last night, and we had, thought of so many different theories and everything that we decided that we should just make it into a video for his channel. So, as all of you know, there will be a 4th Back to the Future movie. We're not really sure when, but hopefully in the next upcoming few years, they will bring that out. And we would just like to talk about what we think is going to happen. And me and Hayden had actually combined theories, and we've thought of this one big one. And I'll let him start with it because it was his main idea, and then I'll branch off of that. But yeah, here's what we think is going to be happening in the next movie.
Alright, as Raeleigh said, yes, we do have some theories. The videos were lost from last night because they're all mixed up and some other ones. But anyways, we're starting fresh with this video now because we have a lot of theories. But my first theory is because of how messed up everything was in the first one. The first one was okay. They could save that ending, just not mess everything up again. But like, all I'm saying is we're gonna go through the theories from the first one, the second one, and then the third one, and then work our way up to the very fourth one. That could be a very possible new beginning of a remix of God knows what, eh? Like, oh my gosh. But anyways, my theories are for this one. Well, just for this one part of the video. It's just interesting that they would even think of this now. What I'm thinking of is like they might rewrite history all over again. Not trying to mess everything up, but God knows that they're going to mess everything up. And they're going to go back to the first time that they time traveled.
Yes, we for sure have a lot of different theories and everything. But going off of what Hayden said, I do agree that they're going to go to the very beginning of, when they first started playing around with time travel. Because I think that they're going to look back at all the different times that they went, and they're going to see how many times they ended up screwing up, the history. And the past and everything like that. And I think that they're going to try and go back and stop themselves from the very first time that they were going to mess it up. And what I think that Marty is going to do, or maybe not Marty, maybe what the Doctor is going to do, is he's going to try and go back in time to stop himself from even becoming the scientist so that he can't make a time travel machine with the DeLorean and everything like that. But I think one of the problems that's going to be with that is if the scientist doesn't create the original time travel device, then somebody else more evil is going to figure out the technology, and I think that that's going to be the main villain in the movie, is that they're going to go back in time, they're going to make sure that the scientist never figures out how to use or how to create a time travel device, and then somebody more sinister, like maybe, I don't know, Biff was a really good villain, so maybe it'll be Biff this time that figures out how to time travel, and he goes back in time and he destroys everything, and he turns the world into a place that, is awful with crimes and horrible, and he's, the king or whatever, and they're gonna have to, live in a world like that. But I think that that's one of the possibilities that might happen if they go back in time and if they try to stop themselves from going into the past, then somebody else is just going to end up doing it.
You have an amazing point there, really. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the other theories are completely out of whack as well, because, like, I mean, the theory is that, as you said, it could be really messed up like that. But also what I'm thinking is, like, okay, Biff was a really good villain, but he wasn't smart. He knew how to control people. But with his temper problem, his mind games from Marty and the dog when they had in the the beginning of the third one and the end of the second one, Biff was completely crazy. So yeah, and to go back to that kind of a future that was controlled by Biff all over again, that would be interesting. But what could happen anyways? Because they burned the book of cheating, so there's a lot of things back to normal. But my other theory is, if they go back all the way back to the very first time they were about to jump through time, it's gonna be insane. Because, like, I understand the reason why they are thinking about it, but the other thing is, if he does that, his family is gonna be entirely messed up again. Morty's uncle will be in jail again. And then his brother is going to be a laughing stock again. His sister is going to be ugly as crap again. Like, and then George McFly, the father, he'll be a crazy effed up laughing stock of a nerd again that can't stand up for himself. He'll be controlled by Biff again. I don't think anyone wants that. But what do you think could happen, really? Like, between all the three timelines, which timeline would make most of the sense for the villain or villains to go through it all? Like, what would Biff do if he had the brains for it?
You know, that's a really good question. It's really hard to, like, even imagine Biff with a brain, because, like you said, he was a good villain, but he wasn't a smart one. But out of all three timelines, I mean, it's hard, because Biff is just, he's such a weird kind of character, because he can be smart with some of the stuff that he does, like some of the things where he became Marty's dad and everything like that. Like, he was smart about that. Sorry. But, like, he's also so stupid. He's mostly all, like, strength, and he doesn't have any, like, plans. So I think that out of all of the timelines, the one that he might change is the very first timeline, where Marty comes and he beats him up so that Marty's dad can kiss his mom, and then Marty's actually born and all that. But I think what Biff would do is that he would go in the past, and he would already see that was going to happen, and he would show up, but he would bring some of the future weapons and stuff like that to take down Marty. So then Marty doesn't beat Biff up, and then Biff again becomes Marty's dad, and then he can control Marty again. Because that was one of the biggest mistakes, I think, and one of the scariest parts was when Biff had complete control over Marty. Just like you said, Biff is really good at controlling people. So I think that that's what he would do. He would go in the future, he would get all of the, like, high-tech weapons, and then he would go to the past, and he would just make sure that Marty doesn't win, basically. But that's just one theory. Another theory is, like, going off of what I had said before, is that if somebody else, like, or not if somebody else, if Biff, you know, does get a hold of the time machine and everything like that, I still think that there's going to be a part of Doc, the scientist, there's still going to be a part of him that, like, keeps the information secret so that when they go back in time and they make him not a scientist, he can realize that the world that they're living in is so shitty that he discovers there's, like, this hidden briefcase that has all the information about how to build a time machine and everything like that, and then he can go again back in time to stop them from stopping him from being a scientist. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a jump thing, but I think in the end of the movie, Doc will decide that he wants to remain a scientist and he wants to keep the time machine in his hands because he's a genuinely good person. And I think that that's kind of how that might end, but I don't know.
You have an amazing point there. Like, as you said, Biff is a completely muscle and no brains. Like, oh my gosh. That's what made his character relevant. And just perfectly funny as all shit. But also, I actually liked the one theory that Biff had before everything got so crazy. It was future Biff. Anyways, to go back in time to give the handbook to himself to figure out what could happen and all that part in Back to the Future 2 of the future Biff, going back to the year 1955 to just do what he did to himself. That part I can honestly say that was smart, but in a stupid way as well. But either way, the other theory that I have is, like, as you said, for the Doctor to have a secret briefcase is hidden somewhere. That could be an interesting plot, but for him to fully stop himself, that would be going way back to the year 1955. The day that he first came up with the idea, when he fell off his toilet to hang up a clock. That's where he first came up with the idea of the flux capacitor. To make a time travel possible, he would have to go that far back, from 30 years, just to stop himself. Or was it 15 years? Whatever. But anyways, my other theory is with Biff's friends, like, the storyline between them all were just completely crazy. But I don't know. What do you think, Raeleigh?
You do have a really good point. I actually completely forgot about Biff's, like, very smart plan that he did in the second movie. I think that he may have been a little underestimated. Like, he does have some smarts to him, but he is still pretty stupid. But I really like that theory too. I think that they've made him the villain in the past movies, so they're gonna do it again in this movie just to keep it consistent. And I think that they're going to make the Doc go back to 1955 and try and stop himself and everything. I mean, again, these are all just theories. We're not 100% sure about what is going to happen. But I think that Hayden's got really good theories. And I think that no matter what happens, this fourth movie is going to be the best movie. I'm so excited for it. I'm excited to see all the cast come back and to see Michael J. Fox and everything. So no matter what happens, I think that this movie is going to be awesome.
You have a really good point, really. Like, he has been underestimated on a few things. Biff has. Like, going through the whole series, he's either gotten more smarter or more stupider. I think he's actually stayed the whole same. Like, he just, I don't know. I think he's completely dumb in general, but he's got more strength. Enough said. But because of all the stuff that went on, I think Biff kind of has a feeling on what's going on through Morty and Dr. Emmett Brown, but I don't know. I just got an odd feeling for the fourth one. He'll figure it out and try to mess something up. But yeah, it's like all crazy stuff right now.
And I also want to thank Hayden for letting me join him on this Back to the Future 4 talk. I love joining him for all of this stuff and being a part of his channel. So thank you, buddy, for letting me, this has been a lot of fun. And I look forward to see this movie whenever it comes out, whenever they decide to release it. And yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem, really. Oh my gosh, I love doing these videos with you. Like, they are so much fun. They're completely amazing. And well, yeah, guys, you're heard from us for theories of Back to the Future 4, of a remake of a new birth, if you will. But anyways, yeah, that's theories for Back to the Future 4 that is going to be coming real soon. I hope in the next couple years, maybe 2 or 3 years from now or whatever. But anyways, I heard it on the radio about a few month or two ago. Anyways, should be fun. This has just been theories. Just been theories. Who cares? It doesn't mean anything, but it means something to us, because, like, who knows what could really happen in the future. So thank you guys for watching. Haydogamg and Raeleigh. Peace.